Okay, I think everything is hooked up. Hello? You can hear me? Yeah. Good, cool. Okay. Bruno's not with us today. He had an event at the garden, so it's just me. Well, we can jump right into it if everybody's ready. I think the signals are all hooked up there. One person's still connecting to audio. Okay. We can start, I think. So, thank you for your time today. And we're going to always remember to be grateful for the knowledge and the practice. Okay, right foot forward, feet shoulder width apart. Back straight, hands on the dantian, the lower dantian, and forward and back, as we often do. Okay, so going forward to the front of my foot, I'm going back to the back of my back foot. What I'm going to do today is, as I go forward to here, I'm going to go a little bit more forward and bring my heel up in the back. And when I go back to here, I'm going to go a little bit further back and bring my toes up. So I'm moving from the absolute extreme positioning in the stance of front and back. Okay? Now, as you do this, you want to remember the basic idea of like the head is not coming up and down. It's going straight forward and straight back at the same height. Good. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, to add a little bit of confusion to the movement, let's turn to the side and then go forward. We're keeping the heel and the toes coming up as we have them. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Now take your right hand, which is the hand on the front leg, bring it up like this. And as you come back, draw a circle here and forward. Try not to think about your feet, but make sure that you're doing all the key elements where the heel is coming up, the ball of the foot's coming up, the hips are rotating forward and back. Forward and back. Now, if you think too hard, you won't be able to do it, so don't think too hard. Simply go forward and reach with your left hand, and then come back. So now all the limbs are dynamically moving as one unit. It is moving meditation because that means you can't think about it, you have to be mindful. It's the difference between intellectually thinking about it and being mindful and doing it. So, forward and back. Heel coming up, ball of the foot coming up. Now, don't look at your hands, but don't look away either. Look into the environment around you, look into the air around you, and let your hands pass like clouds. Excuse me. And now speed it right up. Make sure your hips are turning, make sure you're engaging your legs. Still getting the feet to come up and down. And then push your feet flat on the ground and slow it right down. So your feet are not rocking up and down anymore. You're gripping the ground the whole time like you're on a surfboard. Two more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Extend, push. One more. Breathe in. Breathe out, push, push out from the left hand, push out from the right hand, push forward. And then feet together. Breathe in. Just cleansing breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. around the hips, push down. Around the toes, breathe in. Push up and out. Shake it out. Left foot forward, and let's do the same thing. So, hands here, weight forward, heel comes up on the back, weight back, toes come up in the front. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, turn. Go through the process a little faster because I've introduced it all. Sometimes I feel like my ankles are like ball bearings. There's a roundness to them. They roll. When you do this, it's not exactly correct. Anatomically, there's no, it's kind of round, I guess. So it's a ball and socket. Anyway, feel like you're rolling around your ankles if you can. Now, your left hand, which is your forward leg, draws a circle on your way back. And then to maximize the potential of the body, both arms, full movements, full expression, rolling through the ankles to the hands. Now you got the flow, go fast. Don't think, just move. From your legs, from your hips. Relax your shoulders, tension is not helping. Relax completely, it's just fluid movement at a speed, but no tension. And now, plant the feet, grip the floor, go slow. Two more. Deep breath in and out. Again. This time when you breathe out, push, exhale, squeeze your stomach slightly, squeeze your palms slightly, focus like you're pushing against the wall. And then feet together, cleansing breath. All the way to the floor, around the back of your legs, down to your ankles, stretch, around your toes, come up. And push up, and shake it out. All right, so let's warm the hips up a little more, and legs, and then do a stretch. So when you're working your muscles to warm them up and develop them in general, you want to think about the idea of a spiral that, like if I was wringing a cloth. I was taking a cloth and I was wringing it this way. The muscles kind of do that around the bone. And you want that wringing of the cloth to come right out through the ankle muscles into the foot. And that is going to maximize the warming up, but also the limberness, the tone of the muscle, which is really important. So from here, your feet shoulder width apart, hands up like this. This is extra balance. You're holding a ball. You're gonna bring one foot at a time up. So I'm gonna bring my left foot up by transferring my weight to my right foot. Bring my left foot across on the ground, and then lifting my left knee straight up. And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna push my heel forward and squeeze my foot for a few seconds. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna bring my foot back, down, cross, other foot, over, up, heel out. 1, squeeze your foot. 2, 3, and down. And back and forth. 2 more. 1, 2. Good. Now we're going to do a different one, but it's the same idea. We're going to extend the foot out and ring the cloth. But instead of focusing to the bottom of the foot, the heel, I'm going to focus to the outer edge of the foot along the side of the pinky toe. So this edge of the foot, this way. And I'm pushing out to the side. So I'm going to bring my left foot, or sorry, my right foot, we'll start with the right. So I'm going to bring my weight to my left. And I bring my right foot up to the inside of my left foot. And then I turn my hip out and I push and I extend. See the line from my toe to my forehead? That's an extension. And then back and down. Okay, other foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now hands up, point your toes out, elbows touch the knees, keep your back straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Shake it out. So those are also kicks, right? So kicking is the ability to extend a limb, a leg, to an extension point to the front or to the side, and flexate all of the muscles in coordination to that extension. And that's the whipping nature of that is how you express power with a kick. There's a term in Chinese called fajing. So fajing is the whipping energy of movement. So in the Tai Chi form, it's all over the place with the hands, but you do want to develop with the legs too. So those are 2 kicks to develop that, as well as strengthen the legs. So, put your feet out, and we'll do a stretch. Same thing. Elbows on the knees, push the knees out, and just turn your feet forward, fingertips to the floor, sink even more. Push your knees out though, make sure your knees don't collapse in. Straighten up. Turn to the left, elbow to the knee. Look up at the ceiling. Other way. Look up at the ceiling. Straighten up. Turn to your left, then push. Now when you're doing the stretch, you want your back foot to be rotating. Excuse me, I'll turn that off. all it is. For that, you want your right foot, the back foot to be rotating in the direction you're facing, and then you want to think of pouring water down into your foot so that your stretch goes way out here. And notice that this position, you stay there yourselves, it's fine, is this position. It's the same stretch, it's just that this is stretching bigger to do that kick. And then from here, turn to the side, runner stretch, hips straight to the side, sink down. Put your back knee down and push your hips forward against your front foot. Bring your weight up, shift back to the right foot, put the left foot in the air, and sink down. Hands to the floor, straighten your back. Same process, other side. Turn to the right, lean in, turn the foot, push the hip out. Think of your side kick. Turn to runner stretch. Same count. Your back knee down and push your hips forward against your front foot. Then come back up, shift back. Tai Chi stretch on the other side, sink down. Hands to the middle, work the feet in. Straighten the back of your knees. And then breathe in, slowly straightening up. Bringing the hands to the kidneys. And circle your hips. And the other way. And shake it. Good. So, give yourself a hug and open. You can think about the idea that you can almost clap behind you with the back of your hands, trying to just really let the rib cage swing in and out. And then extend. Feel the extension straight through the shoulders to the fingertips. Now point the palms down, and from the shoulders, circle. Make the circles get pretty big, and then get the elbows to rotate. Keep your wrists straight though. And then get your wrists to rotate around biggest circles you can do. But slow, so you feel the movement right into the shoulder. Don't disconnect the shoulder. And then out, palms up, extend, backwards from the shoulder. Get the circles to be about here, this big, and then elbows. And then wrists rolling around, big circles. And extend one more time. Twist one palm up, one palm down, look to the palm that's up. Other way. Other way. And one more time the other way. Drop your arms. Breathe in, gather, bring the ball up over your head. Fall, throw the ball back. 1, 2, 3. And reach up to the ceiling. Look up at your fingertips. Relax your back, push your heels up and your toes down. Extend your body as high as you can go. And then bring your heels down. Grab your left hand like this with your right. Twist your right from your feet to your hips, to your shoulders, to your elbows, and then to your wrists. And try to turn all the way around as far as you can. Come back to the center. Same thing again, from the feet up. Make sure every joint is being pulled. Back to the center. Reach up again. Look up again. Tippy toes again. High as you can. And then bring your heels down. Grab your elbow, pull it behind your head, and open the shoulder. Drop your arms. Reach up again, other shoulder. Drop your arms. Shake it up. Good. Left hand out. Grab and make sure the arm's at extension. Make sure that there's an angle downward going here and that you're pulling up and under the shoulder. Over, fingers up, push out again, full extension, angle downward, pushing the fingers back towards the elbow this time. Then bring your hand to center, twist it, and help it go further around. The right hand is holding a teacup, and I'm rotating the teacup to the front. And now turn your hand forward. See how the elbow sits right here? Keep it there. Point the fingers forward. Push against the knuckles down towards the elbow to stretch the top of the wrist. And then push to the outside. Same thing. Give it a shake. And then other hand. Pull back. Over. Into center. And then forward. Press up. Relax the elbow and the shoulder. And then out to the side. Shake. And then your hips, head side to side. Roll your chin one way, roll your chin the other way, one way, the other way, one way, the other way. Look forward and up, down, and around. 1, 2, 3. Other way. 1, 2, 3. Okay. A little bit of water if anybody wants some. That would be fine. Nobody's moving. Oh, go for water, yeah. Okay. I want a little water too. Okay. So we've been starting from the beginning again for some new students and continue to do that and then jumping through the form in different places. I know there's an interest in looking at the end of the form, so maybe today we're going to look at a bit of the beginning and a little bit at the end. So What I remember from last week was that we did eagle spreads its wings to here. Does everyone thumbs up, feel comfortable with that? That kind of, right? Last week, that's what we did.
I think we got to, we were just going to do single whip.
Oh, we haven't got that far yet. That was a different class. So we did all of catch the sparrow by the tail, but haven't done the single whip.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you, Bev. You're keeping track of this for me. That's great. All right, well, that's what we'll do is we'll jump into single whip. Single whip is single whip is one of the classic Tai Chi postures. Every Tai Chi style will have a single whip posture. It's just inherent in the practice. But interestingly, before we get into the version we do, because we do the old Yang style version of it, but there's a lot of people, I know somebody who does a Chen style version. And so this is one of the other variations of this posture is you go like this. And you can see what's happening here is that I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle between my stance. But what we do is we turn and we push that stance out to the side. So it becomes distinct to one side or the other. But it's the same stance. Here or here, just an expression of that posture, which is an expression of this posture, which is a crane wing. So it's all connects to a whole bunch of other things. It's really kind of a fun move that way. So let's do to the end of catch the sparrow by the tail, and then I'll introduce a single whip again. So start from here, relax. Take a step out. Hands fall down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Turn to the right. Redirect. Push down. Pick up the hands. Throw to the corner. Rock back. Turn the foot. Pull in the front foot. Protect your head with your right hand and your chest with your left. Push out with both hands, striking with your right hand to nose height, striking to the center of the chest with the left hand. Grab the head, turn it, twist it, pull it down to your hip, up, back down to hip height, but throw your hands forward, roll back, and push up and away. So that was as far as we've gone. Now, for everybody that knows that, as well as the new people learning it, let me show you something here that's good to know. There are variations and techniques that you'll see, and I'll point out from time to time, where you're allowed to express the movement a little bit to your own liking in the sense. Because what matters is that the principle is sound. The principle has to work. The expression can be a little different. It's like playing a song a little bit differently. So here, this is how I generally do this. But this movement could be toe up and heel up for a little bit extra push. I don't often do it that way, but it is possible to do that. And that's where we get the rocking we were getting in the beginning of the class, is it could be sort of a flavoring on some of the big pushes, if you think about that, okay? So just a little side note. Now, if I had just done that push away, I pushed away with both hands to the corner, diagonal, my weight's on my right foot. What has to happen now is my left foot, I'm gonna make sure you really see my feet here. My left foot is going to shift this way. So it's gonna bring itself in line with the right foot. And then I'm gonna twist on my right foot, on the ball of my right foot, the front of it, and bring my feet parallel to each other here. Okay, so let's just do that stance for a second. So you've got a big stance here, right foot is in front. You bring your weight forward to your right. Your left foot comes here, and then it turns. And you see how I end up in natural stance. Now, the people that know the form see this more often though, is you get these positions like this, where you get a knee crossed over another knee. This is important to take note of. Your knees need to align when you do any of these cross steps, because that's what makes it so that when you turn, your structure is correct. So this is kind of like a half a cross step, because I'm not really going past my foot. I'm just going in line with my foot, but then see how my knees are aligned here? And then I turn, and that's how I end up where I need to be, okay? So that's how the footwork works. Now, another principle, oh, that looks crooked. Straighten that up a little bit there. Okay, so another principle that we all know, but just remember all the time, is I never, ever, ever do this. Right? I hope everybody can see what's wrong with this. What's not happening here is my body's not moving. It's just my arm. I need my body to move, to make it a Tai Chi movement. So when I'm here, and I've just pushed away, my left foot does this little slide across, but as I turn to the front, my hand simply turns, and the fingers are parallel, horizontal to the floor, and I turn and I just draw my hands across with me. Okay, now if I'm going to do that, I'll face the camera. So I'm here and I turn, I draw my hands across at about throat height like this. See the structure of my hands here? This is more flat, but this has an angle coming up, but the palms are at the same height. And now what happens here is my right hand, this hand, the second hand to come across, gets to my center line, goes just a little past the center line, and the palm rotates over, and then you go back the other way. But you do it with both hands. So you go 1, 2. Okay? Now, well, we'll do that a couple times before we get into any more details. So we're here, foot slides across, turn to the front, deflect. Rotate the palms, deflect. Okay? I'll do it facing the camera again, do this with me. Turn to the front and 1. Rotate the palms, 2. Okay, now that's the start of it, but what I want to point out 2 things. Where is my helper? Here. Okay. First, and this is a lifetime of refinement to really make this perfect, but first, the reason that the 2 hands are going across together is because that's a single arm that you're deflecting. So a person would punch and both hands deflect the same technique. Now when I do that, I'm not deflecting the arm straight to the side. I'm deflecting the arm behind me. I want to make the deflection go around me rather than out to the side. So what I'm really doing is going 1 here and 2 here where it's turning in somewhat. Okay, does that kind of make sense? I think people are, looks like you're getting it. Okay, so if you think about that here, it's not like that, it's the rotation of the hip pulls the hand back slightly and back slightly. Good, so that's, again, this is a refinement that'll take years to really get, but that's at the heart of it. It's like in industrial settings, there's this thing called an auger, which is, do you imagine a drill bit? Everybody knows what a drill bit is. Do you imagine a giant drill bit that can, takes sort of like you'd say grains, let's say it's like barley or something, and it wants to transport it from one silo to another. It turns and it pulls the grain with it across to the other one. It's called an auger. So you are like an auger. You're a spinning device that everything that extends into it gets caught up and pulled into its rotation. That's the idea there. Okay, so go from here. I look, my foot shifts and I go 1, 2. Now that we've established that, this is the end of the movement. That's like the entry to the movement. Remember I said that my right hand here rotates at my center line and then here. Pay attention to that. So right hand comes to center line, the rotation. It comes just past center line and then rotation. Left hand comes just past center line and then the palm turns up. And as the palm turns up, the left knee joins the left elbow. Okay? Now, as I do that, my right hand's rolling up to start to come into crane beak. And just to review crane beak, thumb and forefinger, other fingers around that, but this is flat here. This surface is flat. All fingers are at the same height. That's the crane beak. Okay? So there's a lot going on there. Let's do it again. 1, 2. Left hand comes just across center, palm turns up, right hand begins to form crane beak, and left knee comes up. By the time the left knee touches the left elbow, you form crane beak on your right hand. Okay? Now, before we do the step, Kicking, remember kicking from beginning earlier? The knee comes up and it comes up by the elbow. So from here, just as an adjunct, I could kick. That's actually a really good position to kick from. It's not in the form, but it could be there. Okay, so I go 1, 2, 3. Now my left foot comes down. I turn to the side and I step out heel first, big step. Okay, and then I bring my weight across, and as I do, I expand my arms, and there's my single whip. Okay, so I'm showing my feet a little better, and we'll talk about the hands afterwards. Okay, so from here, 1, 2. Now, as you raise your knee, push the back of your head up. Now, down, out, step, big step, like this. Now, transfer your weight, relax your shoulders, and expand. Okay? This is called expansive yang energy. It comes up and out like tree branches off a tree. And it isn't required, it isn't even a good idea that you can't. So you have to be very relaxed. But you also have this feeling of, well, the way that they would describe it in the Tai Chi classics, these old writings on Tai Chi, is that you want to feel that the limb is inflated with chi. Like we would think of a balloon being inflated to its firm, or if it's a little underflated, it's a little too soft. That idea of inflating is there, but it's not tense. It's just a energetic potential that is kind of showing itself. So let's talk about, actually I'll face this way. Let's talk about the final position now a little bit. Whoops. Stay still. If I'm here and I bring myself here, I turn, see how my hand and my foot turn together? And then I step out, and now my arm is on the top of my leg. My knee and my elbow are basically aligned. And I push, and I'm pushing and I'm pouring water onto that left foot and extending out to the side. And I'm putting that palm strongly out. The feeling should be stop. There's a line in the sand. This is my distinct saying, line that I'm not going to cross. So there's a focus to that that's very important. Okay, so that's this hand. Now this hand is up into the back corner, but it's not in a straight line like this. That's hard on the shoulders. You don't want that for martial art. Here, you want it to be a little more relaxed. So you see how it creates a little, a wavelength. There's a wavelength. See how the wave goes through? Okay. So 1, 2, and expand. And you have single whip. Okay, so final bit before we move on then. I'll try to explain an application. These things are always challenging, but I think the first part of it makes sense. I deflect an attack. Could be a grab, could be a punch, whatever it is, I deflect. And then I deflect another one. So let's talk about strategy here for a second. Imagine a person tries to grab you with their left hand, and that's what you're deflecting here. They fail in the grab, so they kind of fall off the line, they fall down here. If they're really committed to what they're trying to do, the next thing that's likely is a fully driven right hand, because it's like, oh, it failed, this one's gonna have to work. And so you go 1, and then you go 2, and that's a big, strong right hand that's super committed. The person throws themselves completely into it. You grab the wrist with your right hand, and then you turn their head under their chin with your left, and you expand out. Their arm gets extended like this, and you can actually, because their elbow would end up here, you can go from here and go and break the elbow across the top of your chest. Now the idea of expansion into the arm, so the person ends up like this. That's essentially what's going on, although it's a little hard to describe exactly, but hopefully that, at least this part makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. The rest of it I'll have to show you one day when I can have a person here to do that with. But does that sort of work? Everybody got any questions about that? Okay, so can you all practice the first set to the end of single whip 3 times on your own? Start from here and get to single whip. Good. 2 more times. So it looks like 1 more time for everybody, I think. Do Tai Chi 1 more time, that part in the beginning 1 more time, please. Okay, that was interesting, right? So I'm going to offer a little bit of individual feedback right now because Bev and I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Dismodin? Okay, if you know who I mean, anyways, if I'm not saying that right.
No, no, Lucas, I forgot to change it in my company. My name is Philippa.
Oh yeah, Philippa. Yeah, I know. I was like, what? I didn't hear that. Okay, well, thank you, Philippa. Okay, so Bev and Philippa, okay, so Philippa, I think that you're okay, so first let me step back for a second. Everybody goes through the same process. So when I'm saying this, I'm talking to everybody, and including myself. The process of connecting the whole body takes time. And when a person starts, they always start with their hands and work back instinctively because this is just how you learn. So part of the process is you watch a person take the movement more and more internally, more and more to their center. So Philippa, your disconnect is happening somewhere in here. Your upper body's moving quite well, but then the legs are not totally connecting with the movement. So the answer is always to relax more and to sink the weight more. Let the weight be part of the movement more. Bev, your lower back maybe has something that's bugs you a little bit or something. There's a bit of a disconnect in the hip area here, I can see, because your upper body is actually pretty strong looking, but it's not quite connecting from here to here, if that kind of makes sense. Yeah, so just keep working on it. I'm still working on it.
Yeah, I think it's balance for me.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Yeah, it's the ongoing stuff, the stuff that you're always working on. But that's my suggestion to both of you. You're doing really well. It looks nice. Just sink more, relax more, and feel the movement more. The more you feel it, the more that it becomes connected. Okay? So let's switch to the end of the form now and have a little fun with that. Why don't we start with the final single whip, because that's actually a good convenient thing to do. Incidentally, there's 2 times in the form that you do single whip. Oh, sorry, how to explain that? Okay, there's 2 times in the form that you do single whip that isn't at the end of a club hands, right? So it's and it ends up going to the side rather than the corner. I'm not sure if that helps a lot, but anyways, we're not gonna do that. So we do single whip to the side. And extend. Now, your weight's on your left, it stays on your left, and you lean, and that leaning, actually I'll show you my feet. That leaning is just a hair's breadth away from doing this. It's just that instead of bringing the heel up, you bring your foot forward, right? So you're here and you just bring your foot forward. And then your hand comes in and you see the crane wing essentially there. And then it comes out and you step out. So let's look at the stance with this a little bit. If I'm here, okay, single whip, weights here, just this foot, think of your right foot. It comes in and now step out to the corner and turn your hips to the side direction and have a strong stance here for a second. See how this alignment of this stance here? And that here is where you drop down, because that plants the weight firmly into the right foot to come down. Come down, keep your back straight. Drop your hands, turn, and now even I can't do this totally right, but you want to aim your left hand under your left knee towards your left ankle and come forward from there. Okay, so it's important that you get this stance to drop down into, and then that gives you the strength to turn here and push back forward here. Okay, so let's do it again. 1, 2. Now, right foot comes in with the right hand. You step out to that really strong stance here. Drop down. Swing forward. Extend your left hand up like this. And then your right foot and right hand come forward together. And up into the first uppercut, where the right foot is forward. The feet come back together. The left hand comes out and blocks. And then the left hand comes down, the left foot comes forward, and you do the second uppercut. And then you go to catches or eagle spreads and swings posture. And now from here, 360 degrees on the right foot. And then turn the left foot, bring the heel down. 3 limbs come together in one spot. 3 limbs, 2 hands and a knee. I step down, I sink low, I reach low. I'm grabbing with my left hand, my right palm is turned forward. I swing down to the left foot. There's that posture again, that big, strong, extended posture. Now, you've got to pivot. This is really hard. I've got to pivot on my left foot, bring my right foot in, and scoop the ice cream as I turn to the side all at once. And then kick. Push, poke, punch. Parry to the side, push away, and finish. Okay, now so let me check to make sure that we're not, yeah, we got just enough time to do this a couple more times. Okay, so from here, single whip again. Keep your head up, back straight, snake creeps down. Now, block with the left, right foot, right hand. Feet together, left hand out again, and then left foot, left hand. Left hand, this one. And then here, here. Step, bring your knee up, connect your hands. Think of clearing space with your shin, reaching underneath and grabbing and pulling back. Up, kick, and finish. And one more time. All the way through. Try to do it as fluid as you can. Let your strength come from your bones, your sinews, not just your muscles. Your muscles help, but they're not the source. Okay. Any questions about the form? Everybody's doing okay, good. So let's finish with a bit of Qigong today. Qigong just means to work with the energy. It's like a supplemental element to Tai Chi. Oh, somebody say something? Oh, so these are just exercises to help. They're very helpful in general. So I'm going to stand with my feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to hold put my hands here. So this is the lower dantian. I'm going to let my hands fall away slightly. So my hands aren't touching. They're not touching my stomach, but they're here and I feel it. I'm aware of it. So I'm going to breathe. Focus on breath first. I'm going to breathe in through my nose and out through my nose. When I breathe in, I'm going to fill my stomach like a balloon. When I breathe out, I'm going to let the balloon collapse. But when I breathe in, I'm going to hold the breath. The idea is like you breathe in for 4 or 5 seconds, you hold the breath for 4 or 5 seconds. You breathe out for 4 or 5 seconds, you hold the breath for 4 or 5 seconds. It's kind of up to your breath's own natural dynamic, but you want to hold at the top and hold at the bottom for equal proportions to the amount of time you took to inhale and exhale. Okay, so go ahead and do that on your own, because I don't want you to set your breathing to mine. It's your breathing. But think about that idea. Now, keep doing that, but a little bit more information. Notice that the holding of the exhalation tends to bring you more relaxed. The holding of the inhalation feels like an expansive feeling. So the expansive and the relaxation, which is to let go, are part of yin and yang. This is the yin and yang of the breath. Now, the yin and yang of the breath, the idea is in the classics is it travels from the lower dantian to the upper dantian and back around. So you want to think about the breathe in. So if we breathe in together, the air is going to rise up past my head, around the back of my head, and fill. It's like putting gas in a car. And I hold that, and I let my body absorb that air. And then I breathe out, and I'm pushing all of that back out and down. And I hold that so that the pushing out, it's like a strike. If I hit something, I don't want to hit it and then pull back immediately. I want to go through the surface and keep going. So when I breathe out, I want to breathe out and hold it for a moment so that the carbon dioxide being pushed out is being pushed out, and it keeps being pushed out a little longer than the breath does. And it helps reset the metabolism more. So a couple more breaths, but think about the cycle going through the whole torso and the idea of the power of the holding of the breath, top and the bottom. Okay? Now, just because of time constraints, I won't keep going, but that's the basis of Tai Chi breathing as an exercise unto itself, or Qigong breathing as an exercise unto itself. I will share this final little bit and then we'll finish. There's a secondary step here, which is not really important that you really practice it, but at least initially, but you can know about it right now, which is called reverse breathing. So we'll just do 2 reverse breaths. And what happens is I breathe in, but instead of expanding my stomach, I contract and pull in my stomach and push my lungs out. And when I breathe out, I push my stomach down and out. And I want to do this with holding the breath on the top and the bottom again. So just 2 times. Don't overdo it. If it's a new idea, don't push too hard. Just think about it as a seed you're planting, okay? So ready? Clear your breath. Now breathe in, pull in the stomach, expand the chest. Hold. And now push that down and out. Hold. One more. Good. Shake it off. So there's basic natural breathing as a foundation for Qigong Tai Chi, and then a little bit of extra one, an advanced one. Final thing, and we're done. Cleansing breath, standing on your feet. Breathe in. Breathe out. Two. And three. Check it out. Unless there's any questions, you're done. So thank you very much for your time, everybody. See you again soon. Have a great week.